Good morning. Today's session, I'm going to discuss the university question paper of Engineering Mechanics S1 BTech degree examination, December 2019. I'm going to discuss in this session part A of Engineering Mechanics statics portion alone. Coming to the first question on part A, which carries 3 marks, I'll read the question. A ladder of weight 30 kilogram is supported at wall and floor as shown in figure below. A man of weight 72 kg stands on it vertically 8 meter above the floor level. There is a 100 kg force acting at topmost point of the ladder vertically. The mass distribution of the ladder is uniform. Considering all contact surfaces smooth, draw the free body diagram. So this is the question. You are asked to draw the free body diagram. It's a ladder leaning against a wall. This is the vertical wall. This is the floor. Here in the floor, there is a horizontal surface as well as a vertical surface. The ladder is leaning against a horizontal surface as well as it is supported on this vertical surface. Mostly there's a chance that you miss this vertical line. Okay. Now coming to the free body diagram, you remove this support, show these lines. At this point, there will be normal reaction perpendicular to the surface. So normal reaction RP perpendicular to the surface. Now at this point there will be normal reaction RQ perpendicular to the flow. Perpendicular to the flow. This is 90 degrees with the flow. Then perpendicular to this vertical surface there will be a horizontal reaction PQ. Okay, these are the two contact reactions. Now it is mentioned that this is smooth surface. Since this surface is smooth, there will not be any friction. If it is not smooth, due to its tendency to slide down, this ladder top end has a tendency to slide down, there will be a frictional force acting upwards. Since it is smooth, the frictional force is equal to 0. So these are the 4 external forces. Now we have to mark the given forces. 100 kilogram. It is said mass 100 kilogram. So 100 into 9.8 Newton. Here, the weight of the ladder 72. A man of weight 72 kilograms starts. So this is the weight of the man 72 at a distance 8 meter from the bottom. So 72 into 9.8 Newton. Self weight of the ladder 30 kilogram, 30 into 9.8. So altogether 3 external forces. A 100 kilogram force acting at the top of the ladder, it is mentioned in the question. And self weight of the ladder 30 acting at the center. That if the length of the ladder, if it is given at the midpoint of it, or if this is 10 meter, this is 5 meter. So at the midpoint, okay, this from here 2.5 meter. At that point, the self weight. At 8 meter, from here 8 meter, you draw a horizontal line. At that point, the weight of the man. So this is the free body diagram. Moving on to the second question. State and explain Varignon's theorem for concurrent coplanar forces. So Varignon's theorem is moment of the resultant of a system of forces about any point is equal to algebraic sum of moments of the component forces. So I'll illustrate it. Say F1 and F2 are two forces and R be the resultant. By completing the parallelogram, we can get the resultant. Okay, R be the resultant, F1, F2 is the component forces. The law states moment of R, if you take any point O, moment of this resultant about O. How will you find out the moment? Force into perpendicular distance. So I'll drop a perpendicular from O to the line of action. Say from O to the line of action, I have dropped a perpendicular, say let it be D. So R into D is the moment about O. That is what is written here. F1, this is the line of action. Drop a perpendicular from O to the line of action of F1. So let it be D1. So moment of F1 about O will be F1 D1. Similarly, this is F2. Drop a perpendicular from O to the line of action of F2. Let it be D2. This is shown. This is line of action of perpendicular. This is D2. So moment of F2 about O is equal to F2 D2. So Varignus theorem states moment of the resultant R into D is equal to sum of algebraic sum of moments of the component forces. Okay, this is also 4 marks, 3 marks question. Moving on to question number 3. Briefly explain the analysis of forces acting on a wedge with a suitable example. So wedges are normally used to lift or raise weights. So here it is shown, say a block, say let us show a block of weight W. It has to be lifted by means of a wedge. A force P, a horizontal force will be applied in the wedge so that this block gets lifted up. Okay, so how will you analyze the forces? You consider the free body diagram of the block as well as the wedge separately. One thing to remember is the weight of the wedge is negligibly small when compared to the weight of the block. So the weight of the wedge is neglected. Block W is lifted up by applying a horizontal force. So the motion of the wedge is horizontal and the weight motion of the block is upward. Okay. So compared to the weight lifted, the weight is very small, hence it is neglected. These are the two things to be remembered. Wedge moves towards right and the block moves towards up. These are the two directions of motion. If this is clear to you, we can draw the free body diagram. Consider this block. I have shown it. It is resting on this inclined plane. Okay. So this vertical wall, it is resting against this vertical wall. So there will be a normal reaction in this direction, perpendicular to the wall. First force R1. Self-weight acting through the center. Okay. Since this block is moving up, the frictional force mu R1, it will be acting downwards. So first mark W, normal reaction perpendicular to the vertical wall and the frictional force acting downward. This surface over. Coming to this inclined surface, the wedge is here. So there will be contact reaction from the wedge towards the block. So from the wedge on the block, this will be perpendicular to the inclined surface. The reaction from the wedge acting on the block. The block is moving up. Block gets raised. So it moves like this. This is the direction of motion. So the frictional force will be acting downwards. So these are the free body diagram of wedge. The various forces. One vertical force, mu1 R1. The second vertical force, R1, normal to the vertical wall. R2, normal to this inclined surface. Then frictional force acting downward. Now coming to wedge. In the wedge, if you consider this inclined surface, this from the wedge, R2 is acting upward. So from the block towards the wedge, from the block, equal and opposite to this, there will be a force R2 or the contact reaction from the block to the wedge R2. This frictional force here, it is downwards. Here the frictional force will be upward because the wedge moves towards left. So this will be the frictional force. These internal forces, they should exist in pair. Force P applied horizontally towards left. So there will be frictional force opposite to that, mu R. And the contact reaction between the floor and the wedge, R3, perpendicular to the floor. So these are the two free body diagrams of wedge as well as the block. Now we apply the condition sigma Fx is equal to 0. Sum of the horizontal forces is equal to 0. Sum of the vertical forces is equal to 0. On these two bodies, on these two free body diagrams, apply these two equations and solve for the unknowns. So that is the analysis of problems on wedges. 3 marks. Moving on to question 4. A simply supported beam AB of span 4 meter is carrying point loads 10, 6, 4, Newton at 1 meter, 2 meter and 3 meter respectively from support A. Calculate the reactions at supports A and B. A very simple question. So simply supported beam 10 Newton, 6 Newton, 4 Newton, 1 meter from A. This is 2 meter from A, 3 meter from A. The total span is 4. We are asked to find out support reactions. So let us apply sigma Fy is equal to 0. Ra and Rb acting upwards. So Ra plus Rb, 10 acting downwards. So minus 10, minus 6, minus 4 is equal to 0. So Ra plus Rb is equal to 20, first equation. Now take moment, some moment about any point. Let me take moment about A. Sigma m is equal to 0. Take moment about A. 10 into 1. This will produce a clockwise moment. This rotates like this. So 10 into 1. 6. Distance is 2. So 6 into 2. That's also clockwise. This 4 into distance is 3. So 4 into 3 clockwise. RB is acting upward. So it will produce an anti-clockwise moment. RB into this distance is 4. RB into 4. It is minus because anti-clockwise is equal to 0. From this we get RB is equal to. Once we get RB, substitute back here. RA plus RB is equal to 20. We got RB, therefore RA. RA is equal to 20 minus RB, 11.5. These are the answers. 3 mark question. Moving on to question number 5. A force 2i plus 4j minus 3k is applied at the point A, 1, 1 minus 2. Find the moment of the force about the point 2 minus 1, 2. So this is from module 3, forces in spaces. The same question is repeated in January 2021 also, but there the data was missing. They have not given the coordinate of the second point. Now let us see. A force vector is given. It is acting at point A. You are asked to take moment about B. Find the moment about B. So in two-dimensional analysis, we calculate moment M is equal to F into D, where D is the perpendicular distance from the point to the line of action of the force. In three-dimensional analysis or in forces in spaces, instead of finding out the perpendicular distance, it is not easy to find the perpendicular distance to the line of action of force. We take the cross product. Moment vector is equal to R into R cross F, the cross product of position vector and the force vector. What is the position vector? How will you find the position vector? That is the most important thing. You have to take moment about B. So from that point B, draw a line to any point on the line of action of F. From B, connect any point on the line of action. So I'm connecting B to A. So draw this arrow, B to A. So you have to find out the position vector RBA. Okay, that is from the point where you have to take the moment. From the point where the moment has to be found out, drop a line or connect a line to any point, connect a vector to any point on the line of action. It can be here, or it can be here, or it can be here, anywhere. But since we are given the coordinates of point A, we connect point A as well as B and BA. That is, in position vector, first point should be point about which moment is taken. And the second point must be any point on the line of action of the force. This is very important. Once you know position vector BA, it is obtained as A minus B. That is XA minus XB into I plus YA minus YB into J plus ZA minus ZB into K. So it is 1 minus 2, 1 minus minus 1. So it is 1 plus 1 minus 2 minus 2. So you'll get minus 1I plus 2J minus 4K. This is the position vector. Now how to find the cross product? Force vector is given. We have got the position vector, cross product, like down IJK, first line. The second line should be R, position vector terms, coefficients minus 1, 2, minus 4. So you write minus 1, 2, minus 4. Then the force vector 2, 4, minus 3. So this is the order in which you have to write. Then take the determinant I into, once we take I into 2 into minus 3 minus 4 into minus 4, that is written here, minus j into, once we take j, we have to suppress this column, minus 1 into minus 3 minus 2 into minus 4, that is what is written here. Then k into minus 1 into 4 minus 2 into 2. So we'll calculate it. We'll get the moment vector equals 10i minus 11j minus 8k. In this, the first term is mx. Component of the moment in the x direction is 10. Component of the moment in the y direction, it is minus 11. Component of the moment in the z direction is minus 8. If you want to find the magnitude, it will be square root 10 square plus 11 square plus minus 8 square. So this is the magnitude of the moment. Moving on to question number 6, calculate the area moment of inertia of a rectangular cross section of breadth B and depth D about the centroidal horizontal axis. So this is a rectangle, width is B, it is written here, and the depth is D. So the centroidal axis passes through the center, total depth, half of the total depth. So from here to here d by 2, this is d by 2. You are asked to find out the second moment of area. Second moment of the area or area moment of inertia, or we call it as IXX. IXX is calculated as, consider a small area, an elemental area as shown here at a distance y from the CG axis. Say the depth is dy. Width is b, depth of this elemental area is dy. So the elemental area is b into dy. Okay, so elemental area into y square. Second moment of the area is called the moment of inertia. So this area is b dy. I have written here b dy. It is located at y from the CG. So y into y. Second moment means sec y square. dA into y square. dA is substituted as b dy. So I'll take b outside. Integral y square dy. Integral y square is y cube by 3. And you have to integrate from this minus d by 2. If this is positive direction, this will be negative direction. So minus d by 2 plus d by 2, or minus d by 2 to plus d by 2, or we can take it as twice integral 0 to d by 2. So twice integral d 0 to d by 2 y square dy. So put the limits d by 2 the whole cube, you will get b dq by 12. So this is a formula which you have to even by heart. Rectangle, the moment of inertia about the CG axis is b dq by 12. So with that, we come to an end of the static portion of the question paper, part A. Then the portions of dynamics. Question number 7 to 10 is already discussed in a previous video. The link will be given below this in the description box. Thank you. In the next video, we will discuss part B questions of this same question paper.